This is Link's house in The Legend of Zelda: A Breath of the Wild. It is a totally optional place that does not serve any inherently important aspect of the gameplay or the story. You never really need to be here. It is so far off that if you do not like to explore and just follow the main events, you might not even see it. However, I still spend a lot of my time just being there. I do like exploring and walking through the world, seeing if there is anything left that I can do, but in between, or to plan my next moves, I like to be at a fixed place, a safe place. It makes me feel weirdly calm and relaxed. It is just like being at home. Now, there are many places in Zelda games that feel like this. I would even argue that the whole game has a weirdly calming atmosphere, even though it is filled with adventure. This is actually what I want to talk about in this video, the world of Hyrule and how it captivates and immerses you in ways that not many other books, films or video games are able to. Now, a quick spoiler alert, there will be parts of the story of many different Zelda games in this video, be it Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild or even the newest entry, Tears of the Kingdom. So if you want to experience those games for yourself, this is probably where you pause the video and go play the games. I will try to be quite general and talk about world building in Zelda games in general, but of course there are differences in the games, and some things might be more apparent in one game and less apparent in another game. I also might have some bias towards Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, since those are the entries in the series that I have played recently. The Legend of Zelda has an enchanting power that captivates not only avid gamers, but also those that don't typically delve into video games. Its allure lies in its ability to weave together an immersive narrative, breathtaking visuals, and a compelling gameplay experience. It beckons us into a realm where heroism, adventure, and mystery intertwine, offering a tantalizing escape from reality. The franchise's enduring appeal stems from its ability to spark a sense of childlike wonder, igniting a nostalgic flame that does not only resonate with gamers, but also for those who yearn for a dose of magic and exploration in their lives. The characters in these series, such as Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf, are undoubtedly fascinating and worthy of discussion. However, there is one aspect that contributes significantly to the immersive nature of these games and deserves more recognition: Hyrule. Hyrule serves as the kingdom where most of the Zelda games unfold. It is a captivating realm, teeming with unique individuals and fantastical creatures. Within Hyrule, a perpetual cycle of creation and recreation exists, with magnificent kingdoms and civilizations emerging, only to face imminent ruin from a looming evil. For Link as the hero, it becomes a necessity to embark on an adventure to overcome these calamities threatening to annihilate Hyrule. Now, that's all fine and good, but what actually makes this place so enchanting? To answer this, I'm gonna take a quick look at how world building works. Now, world building in video games refers to the process of constructing a detailed and immersive fictional universe within the game's setting. It involves creating a cohesive and believable world that encompasses various aspects, such as geography, history, culture, characters, and lore. The goal of world building is generally to engross players and make them feel like they're part of a living, breathing world with its own rules and dynamics. This includes designing landscapes, cities, architecture, establishing political and social systems, developing diverse and memorable characters, and crafting an intricate backstory that enriches the game's overall experience. Effective world building creates a sense of depth, exploration, and discovery, enabling players to engage with the game's environment and narrative on a deeper level. It immerses players in a vibrant and coherent fictional realm, allowing them to suspend their disbelief and fully embrace this creative universe the game is creating. Now, when it comes to world building, I kind of have to mention Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien's world building is a masterclass in crafting rich and immersive fictional places. Through his iconic works such as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Tolkien created Middle-earth and the whole world around Middle-earth, a sprawling and unthinkably detailed and intricate world that has captivated reader for decades. His attention to detail is unparalleled, evident in the meticulously crafted landscapes, complex histories, and diverse cultures that populate his mythic realm. From the majestic peaks of the Misty Mountains to the idyllic charm of the Shire, every corner in Middle-earth is imbued with a sense of wonder and authenticity. The languages that Tolkien invented, including Elvish and Dwarfish, add just another layer of depth into his world, showcasing his dedication to linguistic and cultural intricacies. His world building is not only a testament to his imagination, but also a testament of the power of storytelling, as he weaves together compelling narratives and epic battles within the framework of a fully realized and engrossing universe. Even today, Tolkien's influence on the realm of fiction remains profound, particularly in terms of world-building prowess. George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, which includes A Game of Thrones, draws heavily from Tolkien's work. And also, video games like World of Warcraft extensively utilize Tolkien-inspired world-building concepts. However, I do believe that The Legend of Zelda offers something uniquely special. While it may not possess the same grandiose scale as The Lord of the Rings, it possesses a distinct quality that allows audiences to deeply connect with it. This effect is achieved through the power of world building, which is the reason for the enchanting and immersive essence that many of the Zelda games have. There are many different aspects that make up good world building, but I would like to focus on two very specific things that Zelda does very well and that I believe are essential for making the world of Hyrule as captivating as it is. The first would be details. Details are the lifeblood of world building, infusing fictional realms with authenticity, depth, and believability. They serve as the building blocks that breathe life into the story's setting, culture, and inhabitants. From the intricate architecture of cities to the diverse cultures and traditions of different societies, details add texture and richness to the created world. They establish a sense of place and time, enabling an audience to fully immerse themselves in the narrative. By carefully crafting details, storytellers can evoke a strong sense of atmosphere, cultivating emotional connections with the audience, and enable this suspension of disbelief that makes you enter this fictional world. Zelda pays great attention to details, and one example of this would actually be Link's house. Now, as I said before, this house does not play a crucial role in story or gameplay, but it serves the purpose of enriching the world's lore and giving you a place to anchor yourself and to connect with Link as a character. When you step into Link's home, you start thinking about things like, what would his everyday life be like when he's not out adventuring? The game invites you to empathize with the characters by showing not just the grand cities and castles, but also the private and more intimate spaces. It's kind of similar to when Tolkien describes Bag End in The Lord of the Rings. If you're interested in storytelling, you might have come across Joseph Campbell, who, among many other things, discusses different character archetypes and their functions in relation to the protagonist. Campbell emphasizes that each archetype has a distinct role in the protagonist's journey, contributing to their growth and development. But I would like to go one step further and argue that even places can actually be seen as characters and have a role or actually a function. Zelda also adds some unique cultural aspects to the world. Take the Gerudo tribe, for instance, an all-female society facing the challenge of having only one male born every century. This scarcity of males puts their whole survival and lineage as a culture at stake. This might seem like a fun little aspect at first, but if you think about it, it actually puts them into quite a bad situation as a tribe. The scarcity of males basically puts their whole culture and their whole survival as a tribe at stake. They solve this problem by basically having every grown-up member of the society go out on a quest to find a partner in the wide world. The game portrays the Gerudo's perspective on relationships in a humorous yet understandable way, considering their circumstances. It is goofy but somehow charming, and definitely helps to make the tribe more unique and something that you remember. Some might argue that the reason why The Legend of Zelda is able to focus so much on details is because of their generous budget, but I'm not entirely convinced. I've seen many smaller games that demonstrate a remarkable ability to incorporate small details that greatly enhance the experience, but on the other hand, there are also some larger titles that feel lacking and empty at points. So it's not only about budget, but rather the creative choices and the commitment to adding those meaningful details that truly make a difference. But Zelda's worlds are not just detailed, also everything serves a purpose. There is a principle in filmmaking called Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun is kind of a storytelling idea coined by the renowned Russian playwright Anton Chekhov. It's a simple yet powerful technique that states that every element in a narrative should have a purpose and contribute meaningfully to the overall story. Chekhov himself kind of illustrated this principle with a memorable quote: He said, if in the first act you have hung a pistol on the wall, then in the following one it should be fired. Otherwise, don't put it there. Basically, Chekhov's gun highlights the importance of being economical and intentional in storytelling. It advises against including unnecessary details, characters, or plot elements that don't serve a specific purpose. Instead, it urges writers to be mindful when introducing elements that catch the audience attention and create expectations. According to this principle, all elements introduced should be relevant to the story and have either consequences or resolutions later on. By adhering to Chekhov's gun, storytellers can eliminate narrative clutter and create a tighter, more focused plot. It helps to build tension, anticipation, and deliver satisfying payoffs. This principle also underscores the significance of foreshadowing, setup, and payoff in creating a cohesive and fulfilling narrative experience. In the world of Zelda, everything has its place. Even the NPCs are not just copy and paste entities, they all have their story, no matter how small. They're more than just decoration, they're actual characters with individuality. Take the guards from Lookout Landing in Tears of the Kingdom, for example. They're not just Soldier 1 and Soldier 2, they are Kopora, Droza, Borvar, and Mondi. They have different appearances, different personalities, and you can easily distinguish them from another. While the effort put into them may be less than that of the main cast, they are still distinct and recognizable as individuals with their own identities. The first time I personally realized the beauty of this was while playing Majora's Mask, where the whole game revolved around what characters are doing during their day. But you can still find the same level of detail in later games like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, if you just take a look at the villages. Another thing when it comes to efficiency in storytelling is that every part of Zelda's map holds some kind of secret. Do you remember No Man's Sky? In its early stages, one of the major criticisms was that the procedural generation of worlds made the game really monotonous with little to do. It's quite similar in Minecraft, for example, where you may come across large chunks of terrain that hold like no interest or purpose to you, whatever. Even in GTA, some parts of the map can sometimes feel empty and just there to fill space. However, with Zelda games, I rarely get this feeling. Every corner of the map feels like there is some kind of puzzle or something that has to be discovered here. Everything seems to be very purposeful. Now, you might argue that this kind of contradicts what I said earlier when I was talking about Link's house. If you should be economical and purposeful, then how can seemingly irrelevant details actually be a good thing? Well, while they may not directly impact the story, they do contribute to the audience's connection and care for Link. So while those details may seem irrelevant at first, they're actually not. Now, games and books do have an advantage in implementing such elements compared to films, because players or readers typically spend more time with them and over multiple sessions. Films, on the other hand, are often consumed in one sitting. At this point, we could also delve into the ingenuity of TV series, but that's a topic for another discussion. Now, I think it is important to note this distinction between the real world and the world created by a game. Not every aspect of our actual life is designed to engage and entertain us, much unlike the carefully crafted world of Zelda. I think this is a significant reason why we stay engaged with a game like Zelda. But what do you think? What makes the world of Zelda so unique? Do you agree with me or not? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video so far, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me out a lot and you will stay up to date with any future videos that I make. Nostalgia is an emotional state that arises from a deep longing for the past, often associated with fond memories and a yearning for earlier experiences. It is a powerful sentiment that transports individuals to a bygone era, evoking feelings of comfort, warmth, and familiarity. Nostalgia can be triggered by various stimuli, such as revisiting familiar places, hearing a beloved song, or encountering objects associated with our past. It allows us to relive moments, experiences, and relationships that hold some personal significance. Alongside nostalgia, the familiarity effect also plays a role in our emotional connection to the past. This psychological phenomena suggests that we prefer things that are familiar to us, even if they are not objectively superior. The familiar feels safe, comforting, and reliable, creating a sense of ease and belonging. Nostalgia and the familiarity effect intertwine to create a profound emotional resonance, reminding us of who we once were and grounding us in a sense of identity and continuity. They have a remarkable ability to shape our perceptions, influence our choices, and transport us to a place where cherished memories reside. If you have played any old Zelda game, you will find a lot of references. The newest game, Tears of the Kingdom, plays even stronger with the feeling of nostalgia, because it takes place in the same Hyrule, right after the events of the last game, which came out about 6 years ago. You don't necessarily need to have played Breath of the Wild to understand Tears of the Kingdom, but many players will actually have done so, and the game caters to that a lot. Many NPCs actually recognize Link and refer to the events that happened in the prequel, and it's actually quite fun to discover the changes those characters have gone through in between the games. But you also meet a lot of characters from older games, or better, characters that are inspired by characters from older games. A few examples would be Beetle or Impa, but as a matter of fact, it is actually just enough to take a look at the map to find references to characters from old Zelda games. Many places share names with someone or something from an old game, and they're usually also always thematically connected in some way. In Zelda games you also usually find a lot of repetition within the game. You rarely visit an important place only once, you always backtrack. Be it that at some point in the story you have to report back your progress to an ally, or just that some elements of a quest that you want to solve are hidden at a place that you've already seen, but didn't really have access to. Now, those are very common things in games in general, and in open world games especially, but Zelda does them very thoughtfully. It always feels integrated within the bigger adventure, and you rarely get the feeling that you are forced to do the same kind of fetch quest over and over again. The same usually goes for your equipment. In Legend of Zelda, you rarely use a new tool or a new ability that you get only at the one place that you find it. You can usually use it all over the game. This is especially apparent in the newer games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where resource management has become so good and so important. The only other game that might do it as well is maybe Minecraft. But every item that you get, every consumable that you get, has more than a singular use. A simple horn dropped by the most common enemy can be used to enhance your weapon, it can be used to craft potions, it can be used to upgrade armor, or it can just be sold for money. Some of these uses are ingenious, some are rather questionable, but it's usually a very fun experience to try everything out. In conclusion, The Legend of Zelda stands as a shining example of the power of world building in video games and its ability to foster a profound sense of belonging. Through meticulous attention to detail, the creators of this franchise have crafted an extraordinary universe that beckons players to embark on a timeless journey. From the lush landscapes to the vibrant cultures, from the rich histories to the captivating characters, The Legend of Zelda invites us to immerse ourselves in a realm that feels both familiar and wondrously unknown. And as we explore the vast and intricately designed world of Hyrule, we become not just players but active participants in a grand adventure. With each step that we take, with each puzzle that we solve and each enemy we conquer, we forge a connection to this fictional realm that transcends the boundaries of mere entertainment. In this journey we discover a sense of belonging, a place where our imagination can take flight, our courage can be tested, but our hearts can find some solace. The Legend of Zelda reminds us that within the realm of gaming, world building has the remarkable ability to create a lasting bond between players and their digital destinies, fostering a sense of belonging that extends far beyond the screen. Now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I did take a little bit longer to finish this video than I wanted, but I'm gonna do my best to keep the next one coming out as fast as possible. But I hope you all had a good time, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.